It's shaping up to be a very nervous finish to the week on the Australian market today, after a quartet of concerning influences saw overseas markets tumble last night. Erupting violence in Saudi Arabia when police opened fire on a group of 200 protesters caused the most concern ahead of a mass protest scheduled tonight that has been dubbed the Day of Rage. Other concerns came from China, where trade data yesterday showed a dramatic drop-off in economic activity in the emerging economy. That does spell bad news for Australia's exports and potentially global economic growth. Elsewhere, we saw international credit ratings agency Moody's downgrade the Spanish government credit rating, saying that it believes the cost of bailing out its banks will be much more than the Spanish government estimates. And finally, there was also a surprise jump in the number of Americans filing for unemployment claims last week. All of those influences saw Wall Street post its biggest single-day decline in 7 months last night. An hour into trading today, the ASX 200 index is around 31 points, or about 0.75% lower for the session, with weakness across the market. And amongst the worst hit sectors, the resource sector is in negative territory across the board today. That comes after metal prices fell sharply on the back of much weaker than expected Chinese import and export figures released yesterday afternoon. The hardest hit area within that space is the smaller and mid-sized producers. Shares in Perseus mining down 4% to $2.91, while Senfire Resources off almost 4% at $6.20. And in other news, shares in West Australian-based construction and engineering firm McMahon Holdings are bucking the trend, putting on around 1% at 54.5 cents, after that company announced it's won a $150 million contract to prepare the site for Santos's Gladstone LNG project in Queensland. That contract represents McMahon's first win in the East Coast LNG booming sector. And on the currency front, the Australian dollar fell sharply in overnight trade, in fact below parity against the greenback, but it has bounced back slightly this morning and is buying 100.2 US cents. This is Toby Grimm for Bakeryoung Stockbrokers.